এবার করুণা করো বৈষ্ণব গো
Okay, Hare Krishna. So what's your name?
Anupam,
And where are you from?
Mexico.
So Anupam, how did you become a devotee in 10 minutes?
In 10 minutes, I don't need that much time.
Okay.
I was tricked to become a devotee. I didn't know anything about the Hare Krishnas. I was just sad and despair in life. One of my best friends became a Hare Krishna, became to live in India,
Who's that?
Basant.
Santa.
Yeah. So time passes. I finish my college.
Yeah.
I have a very good life,
What do
very
you
good
study?
graphic design. I could be anything I want. I have very nice prospects to work with. I have a good family, no problems at home.
Yeah.
Nothing to be sad about, but still my life was pretty bad and blue. So my friend says, hey, why don't you take a year off, come to India, take some photos, rest, think about your future,
Yeah.
and just relax, chill out.
Yeah.
I was like, why not? Okay, let's try it. I get my ticket to India, and I didn't know that 2 days after I arrived to India, I was waking up for Mongol Arti, doing service, respecting the Kadasi, and things like that.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much a mistake that I became a devotee.
So he tricked you.
He tricked me. At the beginning, it was very difficult. Life in the mat is pretty intense. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know anything about it. And come on, I didn't even know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai, and Gauranga were the same person. It took me 1 year to figure it out by myself because nobody told me that.
Okay.
But little by little, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, by doing parikrama, by being in association, this movement stole my heart. And spending time in the holy lands, spending time with nice Vaishnavas like you, you were the first one that took me to buy a kurta.
Really? I don't
And you
know.
were so mad about it. Oh my God. Probably you called me to his room. He said, you're too big. I don't have kurtas for you. Here's a lot of clothes. Subal, take him to the tailor. You shouldn't pay more than 20 rupees. Remember, no more than 20 rupees. Subal stand up, really angry, and just get out of the room. And I have to follow him. He didn't say any word in the trip. It's true. You have a good memory. So anyway, time passes. I start to like this. And I had the mercy to get Harinam and Diksha from Gurudev.
So when you came to India, where did you stay first?
First, Mathura.
Mathura.
Yeah, directly to Mathura.
Kesavayugorima.
Kesavayugorimat.
And what was that like? Who did you meet? Who was there?
I'll meet pretty much all the people that are here.
Okay.
Prem Pradeep, Rasik, Subal, Benu, Man Mohan. Man Mohan explained me that all this path is about love. Was pretty nice speech. Who else was there? Jai Gopal, Braj Mohan. Braj Mohan was the first devotee I met, actually. We ran around him outside the mat. He was arriving with us. Mal Prabhu,
Mahaprabhu?
Amal Prabhu.
Amal
That's pretty much,
Prabhuji?
of course, Prabhuji. But I'm still trying to get to know him, I haven't met him yet.
So what was it like when you met Prabhuji?
Oh, it was interesting. He has this capacity to steal your heart with one smile. He can be so patient and loving with you. And at the same time, he can be like so scary. But of course, if you're new, the first face he shows is the sweetness. It's what he says. First give rasgullas, then they will follow rules and regulations. And that's what he did with me. He let me be for a while, just do my nonsenses and just roam around not knowing anything. And little by little, he started to put rules on me, regulations, wear dhoti, stop using longi, why do you have a color japa, blah, 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 blah.
And so was Gurudev there when you came to the mat, or was he in India? Or?
Gurudev was still not in India, but he arrived to Mathura 3 days later, because 3 days later, 3 days after I came was Radhastami,
Sorry, what year is that?
2007. So that was the first time I met Gurudev. I met Gurudev in Radhastami in Keshabayu Gauriya Math. It's one of the wildest things you can imagine. Radhastami in Keshabayu Gauriya Math is crazy. Hundreds of people, hundreds of Indians, hundreds of screams, people dancing with fire. I don't know, just
People dancing with fire.
yeah, and pots on their heads, 5 pots, a little girl, and fire here and smoke over there in the temple room, and everybody clapping and everything for the pleasure of Gurudev, and probably Gurudev wasn't that impressed.
So what was your impression of Gurudev when you met him? Okay, slight technical problem, ran out of memory, so we're continuing, another 5 minutes. Anupama, I just asked you, what was it like when you first met Gurudev?
Okay, it was intense. I actually was afraid. You know, when you meet somebody with so much Shakti, all these stories you hear about saints and how they shine and all these things, well, that's Gurudev. So I never expect to actually meet somebody like that, because before meeting Gurudev, I was, how can you call it, agnostic?
Okay.
You know, it's not that I didn't believe in God, but I didn't really care so much if he existed. It was like, I'm living my life, he's doing whatever he has to do, I'm cool, he's cool, whatever. But then you meet a saint, and that changed everything. It's like, oh my God. So the story of how I met Gurudev was interesting because it actually gave me a little bit of faith. Let's say the first speckle of faith that I needed to stay in India. Radhastami, somehow I get into Gurudev's room with 2 more people. These 2 people there start to telling Gurudev my name, what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah.
Who are they?
Uddhav and Basant.
Okay.
And suddenly, Uddhav's telling he will help us with the book, with the design, with my project, Earth Mom. I don't know if you remember that project.
What was the project?
Earth Mom is the one that was supposed to
Oh yeah, I remember that. Pregnant lady.
redo all the temples in Vrindavan, in Braj, and make them beautiful.
Okay.
They actually did Kaliyagat. Yeah, Kali. And that was the only thing they did.
Yeah.
And then Uddhav tells Gurudev, and he wants to take Harinam from you. I was like, what? Wait a minute, nobody told me I had to do these things. You know? Then Gurudev looked at me. Of course, I didn't say anything. I was like quiet. I didn't know the protocol, what to say, what not to say. So Gurudev looked at me, looked at everybody, and says, you know what? I'm tired. He can come tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God, he knows. He knows I'm not ready. He knows all these things. And it was like, he is for real. It's not like just fame and whatever else. So time passes, I see Gurudev again in Jagannath Puri, I have some darshans in Jagannath Puri, I come back, Kartik time, and after Kartik time, after serving the Vaishnavas, taking the dust of Braj, and all the beautiful places where Krishna roam around, it's when I actually took Harinam. So it took me a long time in Braj, which
Sorry, how
gives...
long? Months? Oh, from Radhastami to the end of Kartik.
Yeah, which is what, 2 months?
Sorry?
2 months, right?
Yeah.
Around that. To actually get the courage to take Harinam.
That's okay.
And that's when everything actually started.
Okay.
The crazy...
And then you got involved with books? And
I was already involved in books since day one.
since day one?
Since day one I was living in the dungeon, making books. And you know, after 3 days I was working in Braj Mandal Parikrama book.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about Braj. I didn't know what it means.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about the places. I was just making drawings and
You knew Photoshop. So.
I knew Photoshop Illustrator. I made the cover. I showed the cover to Gurudev in Govardhan. He liked it. He was like pleased with that. Actually, if you open the book and look at the credits, you will see that there is a credit that is not a Das, because it's my legal name.
Okay.
I didn't even have Harinam when we finished that book. We showed the book to Gurudev. I didn't have Harinam at that moment. He was very pleased, but
What's the name?
Arturo.
Arturo.
Yeah, like Arthur, but in Spanish. So the name is still there, which is pretty funny.
Cool, and you've been working on books ever since?
Exactly. That's basically my seva is.
You've been back to Mexico?
I went back to Mexico after Gorpurnim. Actually, at the beginning of Kesha Brat. I went back to Mexico for 3 months. I couldn't stand Mexico, so I came back here and I stayed here for a year until I got so sick that I had to go back. After that, I stayed away from 1 year. I came back and forth since then. Yeah. You know, like most of people here.
Homeless.
Homeless, Tatashta devotees. Not devotee, but not karmi. Just in the middle.
So any advice for your brothers and sisters on how to become a devotee in 10 minutes?
How to become a devotee in 10 minutes? Just come to India, serve the Vaishnavas, and you will feel the vibe. You will be happy. That's the most important thing. Serving the Vaishnavas. How? However you can. Washing pots, cleaning floors, making books, serving prasada, making garlands, whatever. But do it here in Braj. Whatever you did here, it multiplies thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and you get the mercy immediately.
So the Holy Dham is better than the West?
Of course. Unless you have the instruction to stay in the West.
Yeah. Oh, so the order is even better than the Holy Dham?
The order is way better. Why? Because that you're pleasing directly the Vaishnava. The Vaishnava wants you to do something, and then you're pleasing him. And it's like if you're in the Dham.
And what's higher than that? What's higher than the order?
That's kind of to know what the Vaishnava likes without asking for the order.
Whoa! And what's higher than that?
I don't know what's higher than that, Subal. I know until that level. That's the best sevaka.
Okay, that's the best. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. Anupama Prabhu, thank you very much.
Haribol.